Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. I just bought a bright yellow watch made of recycled plastic. And I wasn't even drunk at the time. Honest. Yes indeed, Ashford got me again. I couldn't resist the Hamilton Jazzmatic earlier this year, and when I spotted the Maurice Lacroix Icon Tide for under $200, I had to pick one up and check one out for myself. It has been waiting patiently in its box in the corner of my studio. I thought we would have the pleasure of peeling off the stickers together today. Let's flip the camera and get on with it. Alright, let's get into the box then, and permit me today please an analogy folks while I am getting into this packaging. I think that the Maurice Lacroix Icon Tide is the Farrah Fawcett of plastic watches. What the hell do you mean by that, Jody? Well, remember, Farrah Fawcett and Michael Jackson died on the same day. Everybody rather forgot about her due to the international frenzy around his death. The Maurice Lacroix Icon Tide launched in March 2022, the same week as the Moon Swatch launched, also in March 2022. Nobody gave a monkeys about this watch because everybody was going absolutely crazy over the Moon Swatch at the time. This one admittedly does not have the word Omega printed anywhere on the dial, and the RRP on these was a frankly ridiculous $700 at the time. As you saw in the intro, I didn't pay anything like that at all. I paid $189. This is the first Maurice Lacroix that I have looked at on the channel. I don't mind the Icon series, but the rest of them don't really grab me. They're kind of in that mid-ground, perhaps a little bit like Raymond Veal. They don't really fit into this channel's profile or price point. Having said that, I did feature the Icon Tide before when I gave alternatives to that $1,500 piece of plastic nonsense that was the Kith Hoyer at the beginning of last year. Now, it is called Tide because it uses ocean material. It's kind of recycled ocean plastic. Let's get one thing straight before we go on. You don't save the world by buying a watch made of recycled ocean plastic. Arguably, you save the world by not buying anything, including the plastic bottles that went into the ocean in the first place. Don't mind this packaging though, I do hope it's made of recycled plastic. Tide once again there, the Maurice Lacroix brand, and oops, there we go. Oh look, I even get a bonus coffee cup. Do you know what? I was looking for a couple of these this week. I was going to buy myself one. I need not bother. Inside is the yellow one. I wonder if you get an orange one with the orange watch and so on. Alright, so what have we got then? We have one piece of plastic that definitely isn't made of something that came out of the ocean. One piece of plastic that probably is, but I've got no idea what it's for. QR code on there. Is it a kind of watch stand or something? Do you put that next to your bed at night? I won't be using that again. I will be using this again. That is definitely a bit of a bonus. Some information here, some specs, hang tag attached to the watch, and yeah, not sure about that one either, to be honest. Not sure how happy I would have been with this lot for $750, but I can't complain for $190. Alright, I'm back. I did scan that QR code and it just took me to the Maurice Lacroix website, which interestingly enough, no longer features the Icon Tide. I reckon these have been discontinued, hence why grey market dealers like Ashford can sell them for 25% of the original RRP. Okay, two things we need to do here. We need to peel off the one and only sticker today. Look at that. And we need to get rid of the crown protector, the little quartz tab here, and fire up the unspecified Swiss quartz movement in the back of this one. I would bet good money that it's a Ronda 515 or similar. Do you know what? You would have had to have rocks in your head to have paid $750 for one of these, full noise, full retail for one of these. But for under $200, yeah, it's not so bad actually. You can see certain bits and pieces here and there that do set it apart from other watches that retail for $200. And it's got a nice and approachable set of dimensions for this style of watch. So 40 millimeters in diameter,
10.8mm thick with a 47.3mm lug to lug. Lug width, not really applicable today. It flares out at 25mm, but you are honestly not going to be swapping this one over from the fitted rubber strap. Weight. Weight, as supplied here, made of ocean plastic with the rubber strap, 56 grams. Super, super light for a full-sized sports style watch, I guess. 100 meters of water resistance screw down crown you saw. Doesn't say 100 meters anywhere on the watch, but I did get it from one of the stickers in the packaging. Crystal is flat sapphire with what looks like blue anti-reflective undercoating. It's actually rather nice, and the movement in the back, can't find it anywhere. Let's just call it Swiss quartz. And there you are, that is recycled ocean plastic. Apparently 17 plastic bottles are removed from the ocean for every one of these icons that is made. Nice Maurice Lacroix signed crown here, kind of fixed bezel. They've taken a lot of styling cues from the regular steel and bronze icons and migrated them into this plastic fantastic model. It's a really nice strap though. Again, perhaps nicer if you paid less than $200 than it would be had you paid $750. But quick release, not quite sure what you're going to be swapping it for, but have a look at those little quick release levers. They also feature the Maurice Lacroix logo printed on them. And check the case back, once again made of recycled material. The case back is actually lovely. I would imagine that that is also recycled plastic here. Perhaps one of those 17 bottles went into that rather attractive buckle and tang. Alright, dial and hands, and I will chuck in macro here as appropriate as usual. And when you look at it under macro, yeah, again, perhaps not for $750, but for under $200, it's quite a nice looking dial. It is just molded, it's not etched or anything. You can tell by the Maurice Lacroix script being molded on rather than applied. Very nice applied logo though above that, and applied indices all the way around. There's a molded date frame around the date complication at the 3, and let's not forget, Swiss made, in its usual location either side of the double baton indices at 6. The indices and the hands are very, very simple, just baton hands, baton indices, doubles at the 12, the 6 and the 9, and missing entirely to give way for the date at 3. There's a printed minute track around the outer edge, and the hands I think are all the perfect length. The hour hand just touches the hour markers, the minute hand just touches the other end of the hour markers, and the seconds hand pushes all the way to that minute track. Now I know some people go absolutely ballistic if the seconds hand on a quartz watch does not hit all the markers exactly, even though it's kind of scientifically impossible. The laws of physics dictate that it cannot do so. The icon here does okay for itself. I'll give it a pass. And it is a perfectly pleasant thing on wrist as well, assuming you like yellow, that is. 56 grams for a full-size watch, you know, it's physically got enough of a chunk to it that it doesn't kind of totally disappear, but super light, super comfy for an all-day wear piece therefore. But would you want to be wearing one of these all day, every day, especially in this shade of yellow? Overhead legibility, you know, it's okay. There is a bit of contrast, color contrast anyway between the hands and the dial, but you know, the hands aren't particularly thick, neither are those indices, but yeah, it's not too bad from arm's length. Alright, moans and niggles, even though I've just got this one, even though this is an unboxing, I still always check the loom, and the loom on the Icon Tide is disappointing. Just because the watch is made out of recycled ocean plastic doesn't mean to say you can't slap a few layers of super luminova on those applied indices and on those hands. Maurice Lacroix haven't slapped enough of them. When I turn the speed up, yeah, it's all pretty much gone by the end of my test. And the price, well, at full price, it's a joke. $750 for this? Utter nonsense. No wonder they ended up discontinuing this one after only 3 years. At the discounted price though, at the kind of run out price if you will, yeah, it's okay. It kind of makes a bit of a claim for itself as a kind of fun weekender, sports watch, or even a holiday watch. But even then, $190 is certainly not in the kind of throwaway category if you do want a holiday watch. I always recommend the MRW 200H in plastic though, not the metal one, if you just want something cheap and cheerful that you can use and abuse in 2 weeks in Spain by the pool or something like that. At nearly $200, the Icon is probably stretching that friendship just a little bit. But hey, it definitely has more going for it with its nice construction and its sapphire crystal than a lot of Swatch watches. similarly made of plastic around that $100 to $150 mark, and they don't come with a colour-matched coffee cup, do they? So there you have it. Well done for making it all the way to the end of the video. Why not check out that kith take or my roasting of Seiko's plastic not so fantastic equivalent. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you again in the next one.